I've never been so curious about anything in my life. How did you learn English? You never got into grammar portion for that.
Not at all. I mean,
Yeah,
it takes a good
it's a
amount of
forest.
time.
I got lost. Then I was coming back from class, and it was already dark outside, and I lost my way. And I
Right.
cried and I called my mother. Could you briefly introduce yourself for the viewers, and also I could get to know you better?
Absolutely. And before, prior to that, I think I saw a video. You said like you are an IIT dropout, right? From
Yeah,
IIT Kharagpur?
yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for confirming that. Anyways, as you know, I myself, my hometown is in Kharagpur. Okay.
Oh,
And I just live very close to IIT, I'll tell you.
hmm.
And so apart from that, if I talk about my a little bit of career experience or more of a professional experience, I've worked as a virtual assistant, and that is from my very first job. My English learning journey has started. I mean, back in 2019 when I gave my very first interview, when I was told to
Hmm.
speak in English for 1 minute as a part of my interview, and I was not able to speak in English for 1 minute and I got rejected. Well, that was a turning point of my kind of a transformation towards the language itself. And
Hmm.
I knew it, if I really want to have a good career, I know what needs to be, grabbed. And that is when I started learning English. Long story short, I ended up getting myself selected on the same company where I got rejected from in the next 4 months,
Hmm.
and worked there for the next 3 years, and did my learnings right from there, what level, like to the corporate level. And that is how I got started with my business back in 2021
Hmm.
into the e-commerce. And today, if I talk about, like, I've got my own business into the e-commerce, and on the same time, this English thing is something that I always had along with me, like practicing
Yeah.
with people across the globe. And just, the way what you guys are trying to put in the message to the
Hmm.
Indian audience, I'm just trying to, bring a small impact to that.
Okay. I've never been so curious about anything in my life. How did you learn English? Because you said you were rejected because of your English, but after 4 months, you got into the same company because of your English. How did you do that?
Yeah, so basically, let's be very honest. I had my schooling from the CBSE back, like CBSE board,
Hmm.
right? So
Okay.
even though I was a complete backbencher. I mean, when I say I was one of the student who used to be
Hmm.
at the top of the board because I used to speak in Hindi all the time. So I was never fond of, English as a language. But obviously, subconsciously, whether I learn how to speak in English or not in my school days,
Hmm.
I was studying with the textbooks in English. The contents were overall in English. So
Yeah.
when I actually opted out in the internet to learn how to speak in English, like when I started speaking with people, I started with the very basics. Hi, how are you? What do you do? Where are you from?
Hmm.
Just the way we do normally. Later down the line, with the rigorous practice over and after a certain period of time, what I saw is that I was able to get the very minimal conversation done.
Hmm.
From not being able to speak in English in 1 minute to at least get my basics good, is what I'm saying. That I at least got my basics good to have a very normal conversation with a person for at least 2 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was already, beyond the time limit, like 1 minute. So I'm able
Hmm.
to speak for like 2 to 4 minutes at least. So
Hmm.
that was the point when my boss saw the improvement within me, or at least what I did in the past 4 months, and that is why he got impressed and gave me the job.
Hmm.
So it was it.
Okay, so you never got into grammar? You never got into grammar portion for that.
Not at all.
Hmm.
I mean, God knows, if somebody asks me anything as an English teacher, who, trust me, like,
Hmm.
what is this or what is this? I'll be like, you want to learn grammar? Probably I'm not the right teacher for you.
Hmm.
You want to learn how to speak in English? I have multiple ways to make you, good
Yeah.
at speaking English.
No, see, that's
So
the
yeah,
live example right in front of me. I mean, I also tell people to directly jump into speaking part. Listening and speaking
right,
is are the two things that I emphasize so much upon because what happens is when somebody starts studying grammar, they take it as homework, and then
right.
it's basically rote learning. They are just studying all these grammar rules and they forget them and they never actually get into speaking at all. So, I mean, that's really impressive that. So basically, what you did is simply directly jumping into speaking portion, right?
Exactly. I had questioned myself the simple thing, or this certain thought came in. I really feel glad that this certain thought came in that point of time. Like, one thing I knew was, like, if I want to speak, learn how to speak.
Mm.
Neither writing, reading, or listening can help me to that extent.
Yeah.
So I need to find people. My mom had me, an Android phone at that point of time.
Mm.
She bought me an Android phone, and I started finding people. And back in like 2019, there is only used to be one application called Open Talk,
Mm.
and I went on speaking with that, with the people. Hi, how are you? Same thing over and over again with the guys.
Mm.
And later down the line, when I actually got the job, when I started interacting with the people from the US over the calls, so that made me question, like, okay, if there is an application in India like Open Talk, there must be like numerous applications in the US and the other parts of the world.
Mm.
Why not to try over there? And I started searching people applications more and more. I used to sit like for 2 to 3 hours just to find free applications, because I did not used to have such amount of money. Neither I had my PayPal account, honestly, to make these
Mm.
international transactions. So it was a kind of a, I mean, I got my very first salary on my mom's account, bank account. So
Mm.
that was the case. So I found a couple of other applications, and then I started practicing. So for me, I enjoyed speaking. I never kind of learned how to speak in English with an effort that I'm learning English. For me,
Mm.
I was very fond of speaking. This is something that I've also told in a couple of other, channels as well. That me coming from a place like Kharagpur, I
Mm.
am able to speak with my phone. Somebody in Mumbai or Delhi was kind of a very new technology for me. I was very like curious about such a technology. And
Mm.
then if when I actually have been able to speak with people from Spain and Brazil,
Yeah.
from the comfort of my home, and I was like, what the heck is this? I mean,
Mm.
how come is it is even possible? So it got me more interested, speaking with people more and more. And the good thing that I liked about the people in the other countries are like they are very expressive.
Yeah. That's true.
I mean, they are very uplifting with their words.
Mm.
They will make you feel like you are a celebrity. I mean, the tone varies from Indian tone. There is a different tone in India. I
Mm.
mean, people will not unnecessarily try to express you like, oh, you're so sweet. Okay, these days the generation is following that to an extent, but at least if I talk about the previous generation, they were very direct with their communication.
Mm.
So but over there they were very expressive. Even the people like the like, really at the age of 50s and 60s, they were
Mm.
very expressive. Like you might feel, old in front of them in terms of mentality, and they
Mm.
were very young with their mindset. So these were the case.
Yeah. No, that is so true actually. So basically, you started searching for applications, free applications, where you could talk to
Right.
native speakers. So are you now on any subscription or are you still following the same path?
I'm still following the same path. I mean, I actually have taken multiple subscriptions after that. In these past 4 years, I've used various other applications. The recently that, even if I don't know if you have been able to go through my channel. So there's this application called Episode that I use.
Hmm.
It's a free application. You can have unlimited conversation with people across the globe. And the best part is that there are really, really genuine people, and it's very safe for girls specifically. So it's a video platform. Honest, first of all, you'll need to speak with people over the video, but it is a very women empowerment kind of a platform wherein they have made sure the safety measures really carefully. You before you jump into a random call with a strangers from other part of the country, there will be a host room where there will be somebody like you from, hosts, and
Hmm.
all of them are like females. And any problem you get like speaking to me, you can report it and they will take an immediate action to the account. So that's the
Hmm.
best thing that I loved. I barely see any Indian people over there, by the way,
Uh,
but it's an amazing application.
hmm.
I'll tell you, Niyati ma'am, that we need to change this mindset. So in my entire span of 9 months in that application, I've only been able to speak with one Indian guy. Not the reason that because there are not Indians people. The moment the Indian person sees me, such an inferiority speaking with the person from your own country itself. So the mindset needs to
Hmm.
be changed.
Yeah.
It is such an inferiority. The moment they see me, they disconnect the call. I mean, they probably leave that room, right? And when it comes to people speaking with other me speaking with people from other countries, I
Hmm.
know what, I am not going to brag about myself, but I know what kind of an experience they get speaking up to me,
Hmm.
right? So that has also made me a little, bad about, like, I have spoken with people from 60 different countries in that application.
It's crazy.
And I have got I mean, I'm one of the very well known user over there, and I have got good
Hmm.
ratings because of the speaking. So it made me question, like, people from different countries, they have a certain respect for me.
Hmm.
These people, just because such a mindset has been carried, like, has been influenced with the social media, not their fault obviously,
Hmm.
but this is the case. You see,
Yeah,
people
no.
are not ready to
Hmm.
comply within ourselves.
No, that
So
is so
yeah.
true. I mean, actually, to give you a real life example, what I've heard from Indians that go abroad, they don't like it when they see other Indians abroad. That's the reality.
Yeah,
Because you would think otherwise, because I mean, imagine if I'm going to other country, I'm going to rely on Indians nearby because we are all away from home. So we are each other's home over there.
exactly.
But they don't like that.
Right, very true. I mean, that is why this is the whole thing why I'm here on this platform, and I'm wanting to speak, like, probably on your channel or probably some
Hmm.
or the other channel, in the Indian influencing market. That I've spoken to people in these past 4 years, from 2019 to 2023, or like
Hmm.
2024. I've spoken with people from across the country. So that curiosity of speaking with people has been normalized. For me,
Hmm.
these days, I don't feel that level of joy what I used to feel earlier. But for me, I was like, what's happening in India? Let's see that.
Hmm.
And then I started downloading applications like Joshkale, Sibi, all these Peer Up,
Yeah.
Ace Fluency, and I realized there is a big market gap. There is a big learning gap that is, in
Hmm.
this. India is a big country itself. The whole population is distracted in a very wrong pattern of learning,
Hmm.
and that is why I shifted my entire audience to speak with these people. So what I do these days, obviously YouTube is something that I'm trying to be very regular with, but I believe in, for me, I'm more of a person, in one-on-one mentorship, I'm more okay, and I'm more strong. I feel more connected to having a one-on-one mentorship, so I go on these applications whenever I get the time, and I try to change a mindset
Hmm.
of one specific person
Yeah.
from these applications, having a conversation, like, I get to speak to somebody, they're getting somebody as a good speaker to practice, and I try to convey this message, because
Hmm.
at the end of the day, it is our country. We need to educate the people, the ones who are actually, watching us and learning it. It
Hmm.
is, what I understood is, English as a language, or any other language, can be learned only when you know how to communicate, when you know how to build connection. People
Hmm.
in India have forgot to build connection, is what I'm talking about, actually.
Hmm. Yeah.
I've also spoken the same thing on Try to Thrive channel, Rajni Ma'am's channel,
Hmm.
and that people have forgot how to build connection. Now, here's the catch: that in the other countries, people are really, for them, their personal information is their credit card information, their social security number. For India, the definition of personal information is, if I ask you, Niyati ma'am, do you have a boyfriend? How can you ask such a question to me?
Yeah.
That's the kind of a mindset that needs to be changed. People need to be more open about. Now the question might comes is that we are not such kind of a culture where we can talk about anything. For this,
Hmm.
this is who we want to be. Now the question might offend to a lot of viewers, or I don't know how it's going to be taken.
Hmm.
We are adopting a lot of the Western culture in our outfits, in our lifestyle. Why not the
Hmm.
mindset, which is something, the actual thing that we should be adapting to, go ahead than them.
Hmm.
This is what they had did. The change in the mindset when it comes to speaking. So they are very expressive in terms of, and hi, how are you? Where are you from? And what are your hobbies? Are not going to make us build a connection. It is going to make
Hmm.
us. It is going to build a rapport. But connection comes with these personal questions.
Yeah.
And in India, nobody is ready to do that. They come on a Josh application like Joshkill or Episode in itself, and I
Hmm.
know why I don't see Indian people over there. Okay, because they are following this pattern, and foreigners are not into hi, how are you, where are you from, what do you
Yeah.
do, and what are your hobbies.
Hmm.
So people in India, they are having this mindset. If I come on that application, they are on a repetitive mode of, thinking like speaking with 10 different people in the same way, going to make them good at English. But that's not going to happen.
Hmm.
They're going to get good at that one sets of questions, not beyond that. So this is the thing that I tell people. I ask them simply, like, when was the last time you made a good friend in your life?
Hmm.
I only get a 5 seconds of silence,
Yeah.
because are making friends. And in which country there is a rule that you cannot make friends? You can make as many friends as you want in your life. There
Hmm.
are rules. You can't get married after these number of wives. But what's the problem with you making friends? And that has
Hmm.
been the case. I mean, I was able to crack this code in my journey, and this is what I tell my learners
Hmm.
to crack this code. I mean, to my students, to whichever the number of people I teach, I don't want to have them in my, within my influence for like 1 year. They are learning English. Within 6 months, I give them all the resources and I get them used to use that resources in the most like 100%.
Hmm.
And then I tell them go and learn English. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Because this is how I have learned.
I feel like you're one of those hidden gems that people have been looking for so long. Um, I'm going to, I'm going to mention your channel also in the description box because I don't want people to miss it because it's very rare to find somebody like you in India. I'm being very straightforward because the thing is, I think I've had a conversation with native speakers, just one, I think, on my channel, on my YouTube channel. And
Right,
when I talk to this guy, I think he must be in his late 30s. You might feel like the
right.
age gap might seem like you won't be able to connect with each other. But these people, like you mentioned, are able to connect with you no matter what your age is. You feel like you're actually being
Exactly.
heard, you're actually being seen by these people. Because, the conversation we had was very different from what I usually have. And the things I
Right,
was mentioning, he was so curious about culture, about food, and we don't really get into
right,
these things, right? So we are going in a reverse way. There is this channel called Ram English. I don't know what the exact. I
right.
think it's just Ram. He doesn't have a specific
Ram, yeah,
name.
just
Yeah. So I had a conversation with him, and he mentioned the same thing, that we are adopting Western culture, but not in a good way. I mean,
exactly.
maybe we are adapting to their food, the fast food, fried food, and they, in fact, are catching up to our the like the ancient medicines, the natural ones, or
Right,
the meditation beat, whatever else, the
exactly.
mindfulness, all these things they are adapting from India, and India is going in a reverse way. So that's what he mentioned, and I was like,
That's,
yeah, that is so true. And we call ourselves modern. That's not the thing.
I mean, that's the catch. And what I feel, I mean, what I'm trying to actually convey here is that people in India, a lot of people also have this fear. When it comes to speaking in English, if you understand or if you have noticed, I tell this people very consciously. My English is very simple. I have no sets of vocabularies.
Hmm.
You might say a word which can go to a bouncer to my head, and I'll be like, Niyati ma'am, can you, what's the meaning of this? Because
Hmm.
I'm saying this like very honestly, I don't have sets of vocabularies. What I have made sure is that I'm just, whatever I'm speaking, I'm just working on my accent.
Hmm.
The only feedback that, or kind of a expression that I get from these people from other countries is that you're the very first Indian person whose accent is like amazing, and it's so easy to understand compared to the
Yeah.
people from the other kind of the people. And so, there are a couple of speaking partners who have mimicked in my videos,
Hmm.
and it is more of like a funny scene. So the point is, I tell people do a lot of loud reading
Hmm.
and practice loud reading. Practice more on your pronunciations. I'm not saying try to get yourself into the American accent. It is your choice, it is your passion.
Hmm.
But try to speak more on a broadcast level of English, or which is more of a neutral English, which can be understandable by almost 90% of the audience from
Hmm.
any other country, right? So this is what I'm trying to say. And the very first thing is, that we in India, I don't know what we think about foreigners. I'll tell you, a guy of 20 years old in India and a guy of 28 years in the foreign countries, there is a
Hmm.
huge difference. When I speak with these foreigners, they get a jaw dropping moment for them because in India, there's a struggle. In India, there's a
Hmm.
struggle for everything. We are exposed to a lot of reality checks compared to the people in the other foreign countries.
Okay, how so?
And it is, I mean, in the foreign countries.
Hmm.
They are not going to school till the class of like till the age of 5. I mean, they are being pampered,
Hmm.
right, to a very
Yeah.
extent. They the struggle is not as hard as in India,
Hmm.
and the mental to the mental kind of a storm that we go through in our teenage times after going to the college. There's a small little things, I don't know how to put it in more details, I'm not getting the exact words to frame it, but what I've realized is that
Hmm.
when it comes to those lifestyle life struggles or the mental growth, what we get or people of our country get at the age of 20, they get the same thing at the age of 25, 27.
Hmm.
Okay, they might be good at paragliding, skydiving, trekking, and whatsoever the adventurous skills, but mentally, if I talk about, we Indians are far more stronger than these people.
Okay. Hmm.
And when I speak about the life realities, about the life principles, they have got no idea about it. But this is the good thing about the Indian culture. We
Hmm.
have it. It's just that we need to be little confident in our language. We need to go little beyond the pattern that we are following, and we are going to crush it. Trust me, we have that potential.
Hmm.
I
Also, I
grew
think.
up seeing these IITs, and I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I never thought of pursuing IITs, IIT as
Hmm.
a kind of an option, because I saw these IITs growing up. Like, I don't know if you know Purigate. Like, Purigate is the very close, is the closest kind of the area to.
I mean, the campus life is amazing though. The campus is amazing. And
Exactly.
if we compare to other IITs, I think it's the biggest IIT area wise also. 2000 acres. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, I haven't been to other IITs, but yeah, the area is way
Hmm.
big. I mean,
Yeah,
it takes a good
it's a
amount of
forest.
time.
I got lost there. And also you guys
Yes,
have sunset so soon at 5 p.m. At around 5.
right.
Yeah, here it's around
Right.
7:30 p.m. So I was not used to that. I
Exactly.
was coming back from class and it was already dark outside and I lost my way and I
Right.
cried and I called my mother. So so yeah,
It's a
actually
complete forest. You might get lost. I mean, there
yeah,
are
it is.
certain places in IIT you would feel very scared during the evenings to go. I mean,
You
it's just
have you
such a big
actually been
campus,
in the
right?
campus? Have you been into the
Yeah.
campus?
So I
So
had my I mean, right now from I think 2019 or like before, during, after like COVID,
hmm,
there had been like certain restrictions,
okay.
like the outsider people cannot visit like normally. We
Hmm,
grew up over there, like inside the IIT
hmm.
campus is what you can say. So the very first Wi-Fi connection had came into the IIT, and there's this flyover.
Okay.
I don't know if you have ever noticed
No,
that
I've, yeah,
flyover.
yeah.
That's
Hmm,
so me and my friends used to go there like in the evening,
hmm,
playing PUBG or downloading a movie. So there used to be like a whole crowd of guys, sitting in that
hmm.
downside of the flyover to get the free Wi-Fi. And I had my schooling done. I don't know if you know the school called Hijli School, but it
Inside
was
the
near to
campus?
inside the campus. Inside the
Okay.
campus, there are like three schools: KV, DAV, and Hijli. There are three
Hmm.
schools inside the campus. That's more on the. I think it's more on the third gate side. Okay,
Okay.
and yeah. So I had my school 11th and
Hmm.
12th turn inside that campus, and
Hmm.
yeah, it was always an amazing experience. The roads are good, and the Spring Fest. I think I don't know if you have ever been able to enjoy the Spring Fest. It
No,
happens
I
during the
haven't,
month of.
but I've heard so much about it. And I mean, I was looking forward to it, but I just did not want to pursue it further. But like I said, I mean, I made amazing friends over there. We guys are still in touch. We are still friends. There is this
Right.
one place, I mean, they called it haunted for whatever reason, where um, I don't remember the names. The patriots, they were kept in prison over there. There is a prison.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
So we
right,
visited over there during night time
right.
because some of my friends thought that that place must be haunted, and he was
Yeah,
recording the entire time, and it was pitch black. Also, we had seen a
right.
horror movie right before that, so I was super scared, and I was just hoping that nothing terrible happens. But yeah, so that was a thrilling experience. We explored a lot of places actually, and our seniors
Yes,
also gave us a task that there are
right.
some lakes, some ponds within the campus.
Pawns.
Yeah, and you
within the
have to,
campus,
yeah,
right?
so sorry, not the lakes. Yeah, so the ponds, and then you have to figure out how many are there, and then you have to report them. So, these kind of fun activities, and something I'd never truly experienced during my bachelor's, because what do you mean you are doing something apart from your studies as well?
Right, exactly. But it's just fun, you know. We love
Hmm.
going inside the ITs, but I think there have been recent incidents, and
Okay.
it's very sad, kind of, you know. Actually, to I'm not going to mention, but
Hmm.
people know. Yeah, and there have been certain incidents, and that is
Yeah.
why the outsiders are not allowed these days to that extent. Anyways, coming back to the point, I actually wanted to mention a very specific thing about the viewers. Is that I don't know if you have ever came across with such certain issue as an English learner, but using these applications like Ace Fluency and interacting with these Indian audiences, what I have realized and what I always tell them is that they don't know how to speak in English. That is why
Hmm.
they are on those applications. As a English learner, what always say on your initial days, always go with this 60-40 rule. I mean, make your half of the conversation in English and
Hmm.
then try to speak in Hindi. So the moment if I say, okay, hi Niyati, kaise ho aap? How are you doing? So the next response comes is like, can we speak in English, please? And
Okay.
I was like, okay, I mean, if you want, I can drive the entire conversation without uttering a single word in Hindi.
Hmm.
But what it is the betterment of yours because your brain doesn't know this language. If you force
Hmm.
it to, just speak out of nowhere, it will get completely shut down and you will never learn English. We all are Indians.
Hmm.
So the ones who are on those applications, if any of your viewers are on those applications, what I tell them is that go with the 60-40 rule for
Hmm.
1 month and then again try to increase your 70, like do it like 70-30, like
Hmm.
70% of the conversation English and then 30% Hindi. And then this is how you go with 80-20, and then gradually you will become like, these things.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing. And if the question comes in like what is the best way to learn English, I'll say start making speaking partners.
Hmm.
When I say speaking partners, I tell my uh, like speaking partners over there when they ask me like how can we learn English. What I only tell them is I have made friends first, and I had that is when I was able to learn English. So
Hmm.
if whosoever I used to feel that this guy or this person has a language better than me, he can speak English better than me.
Hmm.
I simply used to tell them that can we connect somewhere in the social media where we can
Yeah.
practice English. I mean, you don't have to just irritate that person the entire day, the
Hmm.
entire week. You make seven good friends. I say seven good friends. Even if you're speaking with one guy on, like if you've made, like, let's say a friend to Shiva, you spoke
Hmm.
with that guy on Monday, just leave that guy. You have other six friends. You speak with another guy on Monday, on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Hmm.
And again on Sunday, you're calling to the guy Shiva. Hey, hi Shiva, how are you doing? So you gave that guy your space. Now that guy will. You don't have to discuss on ridiculous topics.
Hmm.
I never take any conversation discussing on topics. I just feel it like it's waste. So I
Yeah.
discuss more on like life conversations. I want to know the other person. There's so much to know
Hmm.
about a person if you just know how to know, how you take the interest knowing the person. And that person has lived that 5 days of life
Hmm.
every day, 24 hours. You would have 5 days of content to speak about for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Eventually, things are happening in English, and gradually, after 2 or 3 months, you'll be able to see an immense improvement in your English. That's a
Hmm.
very simple method that I tell. Any students that I'm teaching, 2 months I get their basics code with readings and everything, and then I say them go on these applications, make friends, speak with them.
Hmm.
Simple, and that is
Yeah.
it.
That's how it should be. What happens is sometimes they find a person and they keep nagging that same person every single day. Like, honestly, that person wouldn't have much to talk about if you are forcing them to talk every single day. And it's good to have
Exactly.
exposure, right? I mean, talking to seven different kind of people, six different kind of people, you get a lot of exposure. Because every person is different,
Right.
every person has a different level of English, and every person has a story to share, their own story, their own personal
Exactly.
stories. So you're always going to learn, and it's also very interesting. I was talking to somebody just before our session, and she mentioned like what happens is the
Right.
call suddenly gets disrupted. and then we never get to talk to that person again, somebody that you could
Right.
find useful for learning. So I
Right.
told her the same thing. You guys can exchange your email IDs, and then you can, if you find that person to be
Right.
really helpful for you, if you feel like you guys are going to be super helpful for each other, just create Zoom links and share your email IDs, and you can talk to each other on Zoom. I mean, more than two people can also talk on Zoom, so you can virtually face to
Yeah.
face have connections with them, which is really great.
For me, I personally was like really good at audio, having audio conversation. I never felt it like any,
Okay.
I mean, even you can make me speak with the prime minister, I'll be like, okay, fine.
Hmm.
For me, I had the inferiority of speaking with people over the video call, and I found out
Hmm.
episode in, and I was like, this is an amazing application for my ups, like my growth. And I
Yeah.
started speaking with these people more on the video calls,
Hmm.
and that is when I gradually learned how to be more expressive towards my conversations and everything. So these
Hmm.
are the things that I actually wanted to mention to your viewers. And I mean, any more questions, like if you have it, I
Hmm.
have been speaking a lot.
I feel like your screen is lagging a bit, um, for whatever reason. Do you feel that too?
Yeah, it was. Yes, yes, I feel it.
Yeah. So I'm so sorry.
It's
Could you
because of the
repeat the
rain,
last thing you said, because
So,
your voice?
so
Okay. Hmm. Okay. So you're living in Kharagpur right now.
right. I think it's better now. And what I mentioned was like, unless you have, yes, right now I'm in my hometown.
Hmm.
I used to live in Delhi, but I recently came back and I'm in my
Hmm.
hometown right now.
Okay.
And also the other thing that that I actually wanted to mention is people who are living in tier one cities,
Hmm.
okay, or like tier two cities as well. Like we do not have this thing in Kharagpur, but I actually go specifically to Calcutta to attend these kind of sessions.
Hmm.
Toastmasters. I don't know if
Yeah.
you have been
I've heard of it.
exposed to the Toastmasters thing,
Hmm.
but it is the most underrated thing in India. But
Hmm.
it is so amazing that there is this non-profit organization where you get to. I mean, so there's this always a difference. I may be way too good speaking with people from 60 different countries and everything,
Hmm.
but interacting with 10 different people on online and interacting with one good English speaker physically is a different thing altogether. It's a
Yeah.
different experience altogether.
Hmm.
So I knew about this Toastmaster meeting a lot of people from Delhi. They talked about this. So when
Hmm.
I actually came in Calcutta, I tried searching it and I found it and I actually went over there. It was a very great experience. So I tell people, how come we in India are missing this?
Hmm.
And it's very easy. I mean, you can go as many free sessions as you want. They might charge you like 100 or 200 rupees for per session. And then if you decide, you can get yourself a membership. Probably it would charge you like 70 or $80, which is valid for 6 months.
Hmm.
And in that 6 months of duration, any country, any place, any city, any town, wherever there is a Toastmaster club, you are allowed to go there as a member and you
Oh.
can enjoy your session.
Hmm.
That's the benefit. I mean, if I have taken my membership in the Calcutta Toastmaster Club,
Hmm.
I am authorized to, if I'm in Delhi, and if there is a Toastmaster club that is, being held, like a session being held nearby, I can go over there. I'll be welcomed
Hmm.
as a member, and I'll be given the equal opportunity to speak and interact within the session, engage myself in the session. And this is not only in India. If I'm in Africa with that same subscription, I'll be able to join an African session as a Toastmaster.
Hmm.
And I was like, I recently went onto I was on one of the Toastmasters in Calcutta, and luckily
Hmm.
there was this district magistrate. I mean, not district magistrate, but it was more, but DM, like more of that club's DM,
Okay.
district magistrate of the Toastmaster clubs. So
Hmm.
there's this entire corporate system within these Toastmaster.
Hmm.
And that guy, after the session, we went on a restaurant and we spoke for 4 hours. Like we group of like 8 people from different backgrounds. And that guy, hats off to that guy. That guy had such a conscious way of speaking, giving this like the 100% attention to each and everyone's question,
Hmm.
and went on speaking like continuously. And I was like, dude, hats off to this guy. I mean, there's a lot to learn from this guy. So the moment
Yeah.
we were leaving, I told him like, Tarun bhaiya, and he was a psychiatrist by profession.
Hmm.
It was a Sunday morning. It was a Sunday morning, just like this. We had this kind of a
Hmm.
rainy season altogether. So I was like, and it was already noon time. So I was like, Tarun bhaiya, can I ask you a question? I mean, whatever you guys are doing, are you guys getting paid from Toastmasters, something like this? He's like, bhai, I wish we could have, like, we would have get, like, we would have getting paid out of this, but
Hmm.
we don't get single penny out of this. It is just my passion. I love speaking with people, I love interacting with people. That is
Hmm.
why whenever I, like, whatever the time I have, I just want to give it,
Hmm.
volunteering to the society. I mean, I was like, what is the mindset that these people are carrying on
Hmm.
Sunday morning? They have came 8 o'clock, had spent their time till 1 p.m. with
Hmm.
productive, like such a productivity for their spare time,
Hmm.
uplifting people, and this entire thing is happening globally.